Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 87th episode of PandTha Talks, I think. Maybe
At this
86th.
point, I have absolutely no idea.
Uh,
There's too many. There's just too many.
86th. No, 87th. 87th.
Are you sure now?
87th. Guaranteed. 87th.
I'm not convinced.
I'm certain. Yeah, we've got an interesting week this week because it's all different bits of news that's kicking up from absolutely nowhere and everywhere at once. So we've got some bits about Ubisoft, which is still declining from what we were discussing last week, and I think a bit the week before, where Tencent and Guillemot's family, is considering buying them out.
Jesus.
An EA veteran opened a new studio, the 3000 in Melbourne, Australia. Starfield's Shattered Space expansion just apparently has let down the community entirely. We'll be discussing, we'll be discussing that as well as I've been playing it recently, so we'll be discussing what I needed to do to actually get into the game because there was a lot of shit that needed to be done before I could get to playing. Then we've got some news regarding BioWare, which has announced that their new Dragon Age game, The Veilguard, has gone gold and is on track for its Halloween release date, which will be interesting to see. I'm not completely hyped about it, but we'll see how that goes. I love Dragon Age Origins. Dragon Age 2 is pretty good. The one after that, I can't remember the name of it. It wasn't really received as well. Inquisition. It wasn't received as well, but I know it was still loved by a couple people. So we'll see how it goes. After that, a public-facing Valve dev shows why most Valve devs don't have much to do with the public. To quote him, "I'm just the only one dumb enough to be on Twitter." Which I'm very intrigued by. That was what I was talking about earlier when I said I don't even know what this article contains, but I need to include it.
But Rory, what is Twitter?
Fuck off. Don't you start to. I have so many people that do that to me now and I get so annoyed. Voting is open currently for the 42nd Golden Joystick Awards. And
all of a sudden.
You what, sorry?
I came around all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, it does every year. It just comes from nowhere. And because Stalker 2 is getting very close to release date now, some articles are coming out about how basically they prepared and how over half the team is still in like Kiev, where the war is is in full force between Russia and Ukraine. And then I think we've got a couple bits on Twitter, but I could be wrong. We'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, it should be a pretty interesting episode. There should be a lot to discuss. And as usual, if you do enjoy, please feel free to drop a like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Any comments that give us any advice, we're more than happy to listen to, as long as it's not just straight up insulting, because as I said last week, we are very good at that, and you might be a bit disappointed.
Doesn't get anyone anywhere either.
No, it does not. Not in the slightest. We insult each other because we're used to it. That's about it. But yeah, we should be ready to go. So let's get moving. I think I've already got my screen shared for you, Will. First page, and as people can probably tell, I'm feeling somewhat more myself. I can talk normally, for the most part. Still a bit blocked up due to this illness, but I'm getting there. So, Let's get started. I always get concerned whenever I see Tencent, though, which I think I said last week. But they always concern me because they're one of the major companies that basically manage games inside and outside of China. So anytime Tencent buys a company or like funds them to do something, it's China that's pretty much given the order, so to speak. And there was something I posted about a week back, I think it was. This was on Twitter. I think I just put out whenever. Oh yeah, that was something fun I posted. Epic has decided to file a lawsuit against Google and Samsung, alleging that they illegally collude to block competition by turning the auto blocker feature on by default on Samsung devices. By auto blocker feature, what they're on about is, you know, when you go to download a file from like a .apk file, which is a file that allows you to download an app from the internet, it'll immediately block it because it blocks any downloads from the internet, and you've got to basically allow that because these apps aren't on the Play Store, which means they've not been checked for viruses. You can remove it, and it will literally just say go to settings, and you tick a box straight in front of your face.
Is that not the one that says allow downloads from unknown sources?
That's the one. You've got it in one. And Epic
I
are
only know that from the amount of mobile gaming I used to do.
exactly, but Epic are trying to say that this is done to stop competition.
I mean, that's always been a thing.
Yeah,
The
literally
block
always.
of not downloading from unknown sources because that basically means if you choose to do that, you're at fault if you end up with a virus or anything, and not the creator of the device because it's automatically off. That means you're
Yep.
basically, in a sense, you're agreeing that you are fully aware of what you're doing.
No, exactly.
Not and that what you're doing is allowing your device to be vulnerable at your own risk.
Yeah, I got really annoyed by that. Oh yeah, I had to censor this image. I reported blatant pornography on TikTok, and TikTok responded saying that there was no violation.
What?
Yeah, I censored these images.
Oh my god.
Yeah, there was worse below that. TikTok says there's no violation.
You know, one of my Rust videos got taken down because I didn't disable nudity. That's fake stuff. That's fake images then because it's just a game.
And yeah, no violation apparently. The person actually took down their own content, which is the only reason they're gone. But yeah, no violation. And our community manager put, and yet we get community guideline violations left and right and center over gaming news. Make it make sense. They are way too fucking on point about that. Now, the point I was looking for was about Tencent. I got into some arguments about PC gaming and stuff. And people, I guess I didn't
get in an
it.
argument? Nah.
I don't as much as I used to. But anyways, Tencent have apparently backed, I think it's Epic to create, that was it. Tencent have given Epic, I think it's about 200 million to develop another hero shooter game to rival Valve's Deadlock. Deadlock's not even out and it's causing them severe upset, which to an extent I was like, okay, I kind of see where you're coming from. But isn't Valorant owned by Epic?
I'm not actually certain. Maybe you might be right. I can't remember.
Because if I recall correctly, Riot Games. Oh no, that's the people who make not Dota, the other one, League of Legends. So no, it's not. Okay, so they've got to basically create a hero shooter that rivals Valorant, Deadshot, and this one shouldn't be too difficult, Overwatch.
I
But
mean, we saw how the last one went.
yeah,
They
but in all
didn't
fairness,
do a good job at rivaling much.
Deadlock isn't even out yet,
Yeah, that's true.
and it's pretty close to 100K on a day-to-day basis.
It just goes
Sometimes
to
above
show
it.
that the taste in games is severely plummeted.
I just think the moment someone saw that Valve created a new game, they went, it's Valve.
Yeah, pretty much. But of
Because
all things, though, that they could have created and they make another fucking hero-based shooter.
that's the thing. Valve technically did the original, didn't they?
Yeah,
Because they
it
made
kind of,
this.
yeah, kind of can be considered it. Yeah,
It technically is. You choose
yeah.
a member of a
No,
class,
you're not
you
wrong.
customize it with fucking whatever you want, and they have voice lines that say stupid things. Let's just say this, Epic. If you can't get above Team Fortress 2, you fucked up. To be fair, the fact that this steadily averages is mental to me.
It's funny. It's brilliant. I love it.
So, that's what happened a couple of weeks ago. Now we've got this going on. Ubisoft has had a rough year, or more, losing almost half of its share value in 2024 due to the underwhelming performance of Star Wars Outlaws and the delay of Assassin's Creed Shadows. We didn't cover that, but I did know about it. I didn't see the point in covering it because we'd already just basically destroyed Star Wars Shadows in the last couple of things that we covered. So I didn't see if there was anything really more to add. Among other issues, now Tencent and Ubisoft's founders, the Guillemots, are considering buying out the publisher. A report by Bloomberg cited people familiar with the matter, saying Tencent and Guillemot Brothers Ltd were considering their options. Both parties are currently minority shareholders of Ubisoft, with Tencent controlling around 9% of shares and the Guillemots owning around 20.5%. Other minority shareholders have been speaking out against the Guillemots' leadership of the company in recent months, pushing for the board to take Ubisoft private or allow it to sell to strategic investor. Shareholders' frustrations had been growing for some time, but peaked after following the softer than expected performance of Star Wars Outlaws. All you had to do was do it the way people wanted. Like,
They definitely didn't do that, though.
no,
The game was just in shambles. Is the issue? Like Star Wars has got such a massive fan base, so you didn't have to exactly do much
no,
to get a lot of popularity off of it.
of course you
But
didn't.
you still had to do something. You can't just release a piece of garbage and expect it to do everything on its own. People were gonna hate it.
See, I've seen that some people did find some enjoyment in it, and something I stand by. And I even do this whenever I'm responding to people in TikTok comments or whatever. Even if I disagree with you on a opinion of a game, I am happy for you that you found enjoyment in something that I could not, and I will stand by that. As much as I might think it's a load of crap, if you found some enjoyment in it, good on you. Happy for you, honestly, because it's difficult to find a game that you properly enjoy nowadays. As I was saying to Will earlier, I've actually been enjoying playing Starfield since I've returned to it, but there's a reason for that, which we'll get into in a bit.
Hmm.
So, yeah, it's interesting. Ubisoft took the unusual decision in its wake to delay Assassin's Creed Shadows, their tentpole release in Q4, despite the game being ready to ship, apparently, in favor of adding new features and story quests designed to bolster its reception when it launches next February. Ubisoft shares rose around 33% in the wake of Bloomberg News report of the buyout being considered. That's interesting. There has been reoccurring chatter about someone buying Ubisoft for years, whether private equity sniffing around in 2022, which is when Tencent got involved, or long-running efforts by Vivendi to take over the company in the 2010s. Guillemot has previously maintained they'd consider selling if someone offered. Now, maybe now we'll see the other if other shareholders would consider selling to him. It's going to be interesting to see, but just to show people what's actually like got us so concerned when it comes to Ubisoft. If I go to Ubisoft share price, oh, it's gone up again.
It's gone up a decent little bit.
Yeah.
Not nearly as much as anything else, but considering
No.
what they were at.
So they're at €10.81, and it has gone up pretty steadily. This is only in the last couple hours, and this is like as the news of the purchases started to go through and the stock prices, stock markets reopened. It's gone up by like €4, but that could drop just as quick.
Yep.
Just to kind of show you how it's been in recent months.
Was it 9.30 was what it dropped to whenever I showed you?
Oh yeah. It's been all over the shop. But then you compare Ubisoft to another company similar to it. Similar in strength, I'm thinking EA. $142 a share. Take-Two Interactive, 151. Now, some of these I can't compare, some I can. Think of another one off the top of his head. Ooh, EA, Ubisoft. There's another. I suppose we could check Activision if it has a share price anymore. 92.73. I think though because they're owned now, it's not really the same thing. Yeah, seems that way. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to see, and I think they definitely need to do some work with it. So, EA veterans open new studio in the 3000s in Melbourne. Developer scheduled to release its first title in 2025. The new development studio, the 3000s, has opened in Melbourne, led by EA veterans Joseph Donoghue, Nikhil Kurin, and Benjamin Dorr.
I
CEO.
take it by EA veteran, they mean a guy who used to work at EA and now left.
Yeah, pretty much. They worked there for a
are
very
we just
long
going to
time.
see like a shit ton more awful soccer games released?
That's a very good question. No, I think I know what kind of game we're looking at. CEO Donoghue formerly led EA's Australia studio as general manager. CPO Corinne was previously racing general manager at EA Melbourne, and CCO Dorr was studio creative director at EA Melbourne. The three founders have experience developing and managing EA franchises, including Need for Speed and Real Racing. Wonder what they could be considering.
So, nothing exciting, anyway.
The studio intends to expand beyond gaming, creating a digital ecosystem that connects racing enthusiasts and gamers through interactive entertainment. So yeah, it's definitely going to be racing.
Have you ever had much interest in racing games?
I did with the original Need for Speed. I recently played some Riders Republic last night, which was
the only
on
one I
Game Pass.
really played was when I had my PS3. I played a lot of Need for Speed Rivals.
Oh yeah,
It was kind of fun, but
I enjoyed
I've
that.
never had much interest in them.
No,
they're quite repetitive to me.
I started playing Riders Republic last night with a friend of mine, Callum. And basically, to sum this game up in real basics, I'm gonna say, please don't fucking launch. You've got multiple different sports, and you either race or have to achieve a higher score than others. And me and Carl were just playing fucking versus all last night. But we then decided to end the night with what's called a mass race. 64 people all racing the exact same track. And you
Damn,
can
that
collide
sounds
into each other.
chaotic.
Oh, it
That
is.
does sound chaotic.
You can imagine how much fun it is, though. Going and also you swap in the middle of the mass race. So, like, it went from you were skiing, jumped through one of the gates, and it immediately changed to a wingsuit. You went through a couple more gates doing the wingsuit bit, went through another gate, switched into a mountain bike, and the track changes just like that. And it's all one massive map, so it's really impressive. I actually really do enjoy it. It's quite a bit of fun. The studio intends to expand beyond game creator. Yeah, we've gone through that bit. One title is scheduled for release in 2025, with further partnerships and products to be announced soon. Our goal with the 3000s is to become the ultimate digital automotive brand, blending racing, culture, and entertainment in a way that no one has done before. We've assembled a core team that are truly the best in class at what they do, and to help deliver the vision, and we couldn't be happier with the results. With government incentives making Australia an attractive, cost-effective location, we're positioned to build world-class products on efficient budgets. We're excited to develop new games that harness these advantages and push the boundaries of world-class innovation. I do apologise. I have to keep muting my mic because I'm coughing quite a bit at the moment. I'm managing to mitigate it though, which is some good news. But yeah, I think it would be interesting to see a few more racing games and see some changes in that market. Because let's be honest, they've all been the bland same thing for fucking years. Some change
My reason
could
to
definitely
not
be
really
good.
have any interest.
Exactly. Most people's reason is you know exactly what you're expecting the moment you pick it up.
Yeah.
Which is why I've
Now,
always found it weird when
I
someone
have to
turns around.
admit,
Go on.
I'm one of those weirdos. Let's take Cyberpunk, for example. I'll chill and drive around like a normal citizen, just chilling out, not like rushing anywhere, not rushing to do anything until I
Following the road
see
laws.
pretty much just chilling out, until I see some dots on the map. They're like, oh, there are people to go kill. So I'll park up, hop out, run over, slaughter them, hop back in, straight back to it, and just rinse and repeat.
I
As
can't
just a
follow
way
you.
to like, just a way to relax.
Yeah, sounds pretty relaxing.
Well, normally when I play any kind of shooter game, you know me, I'm all go.
Oh yeah.
So it's just a chill way to do something that I enjoy doing.
So, Starfield,
No.
we're here at last. So, I was discussing this with Will just before because we do have the Shattered Space bit to talk about, but before that, I have actually been playing it recently because I knew Shattered Space was releasing and I wanted to complete the game finally. So, I had to install some mods to actually get me to play it. I played 24 hours without these mods, and then I played for 3 days with them. Now, I had the inventory sorters, the achievement re-enabler, because I hate the fact that mods remove achievements, even though most mods aren't utilized in a cheating manner. So I find that
Yeah, I
dumb.
mean, not really any of them are.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I would say the likes of you and me, we don't get mods to get the achievements.
no.
We get mods to make the game more enjoyable to play, or in what we're about to discuss, just playable to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah. Playable to begin with is a fairly
The
accurate
keyword.
response. So I had to install this mod to start with, which just removes this fucking filter. Because, dear
Which is
God.
just gross, man. Like, I don't know why they're putting that filter in a game.
It doesn't make much sense, does it? It's awful. It really is awful. I mean, even there you can see it.
Yeah.
Just no. So, anyways, I have that one to remove it. Then there was another one. There it is. Clean reflex sights. Because, let's be honest, that looks awful. That's not too bad, but that's fucking superior. It's just the way it is.
I mean, you're
Real
just actually
lighting.
able to see, which is like a very
Yeah.
important thing when playing a game.
Real lighting. So, these are typically before and afters. So this is before, that's after.
Huge difference.
Yeah, funny.
Again,
You
just
can
able to
actually
see.
see
Yeah.
before, after, before, oh, after. That's about what you'd expect, though. Ironically, that one actually makes it a bit darker in some areas, but it kind of isolates the lighting to be in the correct places. How's this one going to change it? Ah, yeah, that is literally just isolating the lighting. But it looks better for it. That looks a lot better. So yeah, mods like that are massively important. I like them, you know. Improve follower behavior, that was needed. Because dear God, they are done. There was one I got which was I tried the immersive building landing ramps, but it kept glitching on me, so I couldn't do that. There
That's
was
the best part about Nexus is you can just keep getting mods and removing mods at will that you end up not liking or just don't work as intended or the way you
yeah,
thought they would.
you
And
just
you just keep
make,
adding and taking away at will.
yeah, you just make a major save before you make any major changes, and you sorted.
Yeah.
There was another one I got. There was pretty much basically all it does is ladders have basically a party ship if you want to go up or down. It's annoying as hell because you've got to wait for that animation to complete. And I got really annoyed because it takes like 5 seconds to get to the top of the ladder, just going up one floor. So what I did was I added a mod that increases the speed by 200%. It was just easier than going up and down the
When you
ladder.
get it increased to like 10,000%, you just hear kind of.
Oh, I wish that I put it on the max that it had.
I'm
And
sure you can probably go into the file itself and maybe change something.
oh, probably. But no, there's some really good stuff. Natural LUTs. I know I got this one. This basically it removes the graded filter, but it actually restores some of the levels ambient lighting. So, for example, left is natural LUT, the right is the base game. You can tell the difference pretty quickly. I have this one here, which I think looks the best, to be honest with you.
It's like they're adding an unnecessary sort of fog.
Yeah, but
And it doesn't really make sense.
this one looks stunning. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll install that. Same again. And you can just see, like, that looks so cloudy. And then these three are just like versions of, oh yeah, we've removed that, but we're going to now give you some choices of which one do you think looks best. And yeah, that is like 90% of what I installed to get Starfield to a state where I felt happy to play it. Which I have been. I think I've played for a fair couple hours this week. So look, best way to check is on my profile, not in my friends list. Let's not dox the people I know, shall we? Battery is low. Thanks, headset. No, can't see. I last played yesterday, apparently. Well, actually, it'll probably be 1 a.m. in the morning from the other night. Which, as I said, I have enjoyed it, but it's not as good as it once was. There's 13,000 people in game right now, which isn't much, but for a single-player game, I suppose it's about right. How's it doing in comparison to Skyrim, do you think?
I mean, with how much you can mod Skyrim.
The question is,
Well,
which version?
oh god. I mean, technically, you gotta add them all up in a sense,
Technically,
because
but I'm
for
not
the
going to
most
count
part, it's the
VR.
same game. No, 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 no. VR's a bit much.
Yeah, so we'll count these two. So, Special Edition, 21,960. Regular, 2,184. The fact that there's people still playing regular actually does confuse me a bit.
So why wouldn't you play Anniversary Edition? There's
Yeah,
more stuff.
exactly. And now a lot of modders are actually starting to support Anniversary Edition. At one time of day they didn't, but now they are, which is
Yeah, I
just making
remember
things a lot
whenever
better.
I was doing it, a lot of stuff wasn't for it, and some
Yeah,
things would break, and it was kind of annoying. But
that's
it's
been the
not it's
thing.
not much of the case anymore, thankfully.
No. And this is at 13,548. And then we've got their package data, apparently. I thought that was something else. DLC. Shattered Space. Ooh. 2,278 negative reviews, 967 positive.
It's not a great
That's an
percentage.
ouch. That is a very big ouch. It looks like it's an interesting one, though. Like, the story I've played so far of just regular Starfield is pretty interesting. But anyways, shall we actually get to the point of what this article's about?
I've sort of forgotten it myself.
Yeah, so Starfield's big shattered space expansion isn't weird enough, apparently.
Huh?
A great setting and premise are let down by more of the same for Bethesda's sci-fi RPG. It's been a long time coming since for Starfield players. Bethesda's sci-fi take on Skyrim originally launched last summer. This is why you don't make one game that's amazing, Bethesda, and then fuck up the rest. And while there have been some updates and improvements since then, it's taken more than a year for the game to get its first major expansion. This lead up means there's a lot riding on Shattered Space, which is a perfectly fine addition to the game that also feels incredibly underwhelming. After a promising setup, it ends up mostly being more of the same. Things start as they often do in an expansion, with a distress call. This one leads you to a derelict space station that is brimming with ghostly apparitions, and which eventually asks you to go to the home planet of House Varun, a religious sect that worships a giant serpent. I've heard of these people, and I've only interacted with 2 of them. The rest have died at my hand. There you learn the Varun have been beset by a calamity that has caused some members to disappear, others to turn to violent wraiths, and a number of other strange and disastrous happenings in and around their main city. After a ceremony that actually converts you to the church, your job becomes solving the mystery of the calamity and helping the house put things back in order. Why?
It does sound a bit pointless.
I don't see why I'd do it. Like, they're known to be some of the big bads. They hate everyone and would kill anyone that they come across. Why would I go out of my way to help them? Apart from one ally that I have who was from there, but even she kills others. So, you know. You can technically access Shattered Space at any point after Starfield's opening mission, but Bethesda recommends being level 35 or higher to get through it. I played on New Game Plus save at level 32 and didn't really have any problems. Cool. It's a great premise that promises all kinds of cosmic horror. The planet you'll explore is rendered in a garish red and purple. Fair enough. Filled with strange glowing growths, bubbles where gravity doesn't exist, and oddball creatures that would look right at home in No Man's Sky. Speaking of which, I'm going to be playing that later. First time in a while, so next week I can discuss that a bit, which will be fun. The main city, which looks like a cross between a frontier town and an ancient temple, is filled with people struggling through the turmoil, whether it's lost loved ones, food shortages, or a crisis of faith. Shattered Space is also notable for being incredibly focused. While much of Starfield's appeal has been on the sheer scale of the universe, here you're limited to a single planet that's dense with things to do and see. It's reminiscent of a largely standalone Far Harbor expansion for Fallout 4. This results in...
barely played the expansions on Fallout 4.
No, same. I modded it to shit and pretty much rarely ever touched them. I completed the base game when it released, and that was it. I don't even think I've completed the game a second time since.
No, I don't think I have. I completed it for the first time whenever I first played it, and then just never cared for the institution again.
Yeah. I mean, I nuked the institution, I think, the first time.
I don't even remember what I did.
I'm not even sure. I know the last time I played Fallout 4, I downloaded, I think it was like 900 mods and turned the game into like a zombie apocalypse survival.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it was great fun. Highly enjoyed it. This is also some great storylines, particularly in the side quests, which have you doing everything from investigating a haunted orphanage to hunting down a livestock thief. At first, the religious sect seemed standoffish and difficult to understand, but eventually it became clear that despite their complete isolation and belief in a big snake, they were all just people struggling to get by. Even the simple missions give you some insight into the human side of this group, which in the main Starfield campaign is largely branded as a sect of violent zealots. Yeah, that's because that's what we're told the entire time. They're violent, they kill people, they kill anyone they see. That's what we're pretty much told. But how you do that is typical Starfield and Bethesda stuff. Quests have you fighting through dungeons, collecting or delivering items, and occasionally talking your way out of problems. I'll be honest, what do you mean occasionally? That's all I seem to do. Like, I'm expecting to get into some big gunfire moment, and next thing some guy runs up to me. Oh look, there's a persuade option. I win. You're gonna walk away now. I've already won. There's a new backdrop, but nothing much has changed in terms of those structure or moment-to-moment experience of Starfield. Those alien monstrosities are just more enemies to fight. The ghostly wraiths are just more soldiers shooting at you. At the very least, the fetch quests are a good chance to try out the new Dune buggy. There's nothing particularly bad about Shattered Space, and if you're just looking for more Starfield, that's exactly what this is, only in one of the more visually and narratively interesting locations in the game. But after so much time, I can't help but want a little more than just more. Shattered Space had the potential to be weird and creepy and different, but it looks like players will have to keep waiting for something that it feels truly new. To be fair, there was a Starfield encounter I played the other day. I should actually have the achievement, and that's what will probably tell me. Entangled, that was it. This fucking quest, man. If it's the one I think it is, yeah, it is. This is fucking insane. So you walk into this building, right?
Mhm.
And you're told, look, only you can come in. We've got a distress beacon going off. Feel free to come in. I'll take you to the main leader. As he walks you through the building, you suddenly teleport into this.
What?
Yeah. Now, at that point, you're a bit like, wait a fucking minute, what? And you're attacked by alien bugs. Like, oh, shit. Well, fuck. You kill one, in the middle of killing the other, you get teleported back. At which point he comes up and goes, what's wrong? Why do you look like you were in the middle of a fight? Where did you just teleport to? Where'd you go? Which he's now severely suspicious of you. You walk into this built room, you get teleported back. Except this time there's a person who actually explains everyone on your side died 3 months ago because of an experiment they were doing on the artifact that you've come to collect. And the place blew up. After discussing this with him, you finally get taken to basically see the director, but you get teleported between back and forth a bit. And it's like a major feature, actually, of this entire place. And you find out he actually died 3 months ago. So the artifact split both situations between dimensions, and you find a way to travel between them. And you've got to make your way back to where the artifact is. And you've got 3 options. One of them's a hidden option. But in the end, you can choose to save the clean version, the destroyed version, which would actually, if you save one and not the other, you'll kill the people in the other. Or you can save both. But that's a bit more, you've got to look for it. Otherwise, you won't find it. But it was such an interesting way of doing it because you were jumping between dimensions constantly. You went from having bloody robots that fought against you and tried to kill you to giant bugs that wanted you dead. And I fucking loved that mission. I thought it was really well done. And it was forced to be a part of the main missions because to get the artifacts, which is one of the main mission objectives, you needed to complete that mission. And I think they really did a good job by putting that in the main game.
It does sound like a really cool mission to be going through. An absolute chaotic time, but it sounds really cool.
Honestly, I truly enjoyed it. I'll see if I'm not gonna like put too much up. You know what? No, I don't have YouTube Premium on this side. I'm just gonna have to hold for this. I don't care, Ionis. Go away.
Really making you watch the entire ad, huh?
Yep. Oh dear God, another. Not another. Yeah. Oh, here we go. So you land here. You actually go into the building. Here we go. He takes you through here. This is what I experienced. By the way, this quality
so
is
bright.
awful. I can't do anything about 480p.
Well.
Ooh. Right, this is best afternoon. You suddenly get, as you're walking down, that's what happens. Then
flashes in.
Yeah, you get teleported to this random location, and these bugs come after you. Which, like, you're like, what the fuck? Kill one. All of a sudden, this guy's like, what the hell? Take it easy. What was that? Why do you look like you were in a fight? Do you think, like, you're gone? Which it gave me one of my most enjoyed statements that I could say. In which I replied to him, if you think this is stealth tech, why would I be stood in this hallway right now arguing with you? That's it. Which I think is the best response ever. But then he says, let's get you to the director. We'll figure this out. The moment you pass through this room, which this person's doing quite slowly, off you go again. Except this time, there's a person here. And eventually, what you find, if I skip ahead again. Oh yeah, you find out how to teleport, and this guy literally just turns around and goes, "You realize you've just popped into my locked office? So much for my security protocols." It's like, I didn't mean to. If it's any consolation, I didn't mean to. I'm trying to get to the fabrication place. But eventually you get these little bits where you can basically choose. He's got his fucking flashlight on. That's why it looks so fucking bright.
Because the area isn't bright enough.
Yeah. What a dipshit. Right, I'm gonna just skip that slightly, and we should be able to see him actually be able to switch between dimensions at will now. Which is pretty much, you see these little glowing things. Or is he being a knobhead and just walking around? He is. Oh, I don't like this guy. IGN, man. Really don't like IGN. Right, skip ahead a bit. Dude, can you just stay out of all these? Thank you. Come on. Holy shit.
Well, I think we understand the point anyway.
Yeah. Basically, you've got these little
This guy's
glowy
not getting
parts.
to it.
No, you got these little glowy parts which you're able to swap between dimensions at will, which helps you then navigate this entire sector. Which, like, you can't get through there when it's destroyed, but you can in modern day, or in clean day, I guess you could say. This guy is apparently completely. Oh wait, I think you might have finally figured it. That's the glowing thing. You go into that, literally click tap, and then everything's changed. That's now open again. And that's basically the entire thing of getting to your location, but you might have robots to fight in the clean version, but bugs to fight in the alternate, which I think, hands down, is an amazing mission idea. They really did well with it, and whoever designed that mission, props to you. I truly enjoyed it. But is there going to be any more of that in Shattered Space? Because I've heard people say that it takes 5 hours to complete the main campaign of Shattered Space, which isn't good. It's not good at all. But anyway, shall we move on to the next topic, Will? Seeing as we've rambled about Starfield for long enough.
I mean, there's some good things about it. At least they're trying.
Yeah, that is true. BioWare announces that Dragon Age The Veilguard has gone gold and is on track to release. You know what? Let's just... We'll come here to this post. It's just easier. Dragon Age Veilguard has gone gold. Thank you for all your support as we cross this important milestone. See you and Thedas on October 31st. Pre-order now. The fact... I don't know about you. I used to see these sort of posts all the time from games companies saying, "Thank you, we've gone gold." I think the last time I saw a company say we've gone gold was bloody No Man's Sky. And we saw how that turned out. But then again...
Which explains why I don't really know what they mean by we've gone gold.
Basically, it means they've got the final version, and that'll be the one that gets put onto all the discs in the future.
Right.
Like, do you think No Man's Sky should be forgiven already? Like, I know we've been over this one before, but I think they deserve it now. Some people are still apparently claiming there's issues. Interesting. I know that a lot of people are trying to... I've been giving it like a brand new thing, and people are loving it so much. Because they've changed so much compared to what it was. So, shall we check out what this Valve employee's talking about?
The Valve or EA? Wait, what?
Public-facing Valve dev shows why most Valve devs don't have much to do with the public. I'm just the only one to be dumb enough to be on Twitter.
This one, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought this one would be fun. Valve operates as a slightly closed shop, rarely granting staff interviews and keeping community engagement to a minimum. The studio's latest game, Deadlock, was even released semi-covertly, with no official confirmation until the cat was well and truly out of the bag, which may have been some inspired marketing. Valve people, generally speaking, keep their thoughts within Valve, so Valve engineer Fletcher Dunn is a brave soul. Some might even say foolhardy. Dunn is an extraordinarily overqualified man. Among other things, has co-authored a free book on 3D math in game development. His role at Valve seems focused on networking, and he's worked across studios, titles, even though the focus here is CS2, Counter Strike 2, he also drops breadcrumbs in public, which to a community oft starved of information are seized upon with relish. I have some new network stuff that will be shipping in CS soon, said Dunn with a smiley emoji on October 2nd, referring to the recent Armory update. His replies were immediately flooded by Counter Strike players, tremendously excited that a Valve dev was saying something, anything about their beloved game. Soon the talk turned to operations, new maps, and all the exciting things Dunn was going to deliver. Oh crap, this was a mistake. Dunn posted shortly after. Don't get excited, I'm only a tiny part of this great team. The problem is that no matter what Dunn says, the vast majority of what he does talk about is networking issues. It is, at best, a rare W from Valve, and at worst, some sort of implicit confirmation of Half-Life 3. It also makes him a bit of a target for the spittle-flecked mob, who think harassing developers on social media is a sane pastime. This'll be fun. Fix the game, you overpaid idiots, dev, says the perfectly named Vox Populi 490. Hey idiot, fix the subtick, you cunt, says another healthy missive. I like some of these, they're interesting. Some of this stuff is hard to even pass. You broke CS2 network, lost packets for no reason, and 2 sec lag only in CS2. Yeah, Fletcher Dunn, what about that? Other demands include Dunn somehow sort out a new CS server in Colorado. Poor bastard.
Indeed.
I was gonna say, he's not IT help desk, and you are not his users. To be fair to the Counter Strike community, which is, of course, many millions of individuals rather than a big
Many.
toxic blob, yeah, it's fucking daft.
It's insane.
Yeah, many saw the Dunn pylon and went to thank him for communication, tell him to ignore the idiots, and so on. A rule of thumb I use is that if my first encounter on social media with a random person is for them to be a snarky dickhead, I assume the expected total value of all future interaction is negative and block them. Oh, that's fair, says Dunn,
Yeah.
which sounds a bit exhausting. It is positive to express negative feedback, criticism, or disagreement in a polite way. Yeah, we do it. We also use some vulgarity, but we don't call people
I,
cunts for no reason.
yeah, if you're gonna just waste everyone's time by saying shit that's just unnecessary, then I guess there's no point dealing with them at all. So
Hmm,
you can understand it.
of course you can. Oh, my apologies. Um, oh, it's possible, alright, CS fan Bizarro rather sweetly says, I don't know what you do at Valve, but you are their best work of sure. Citation needed, says Dunn, not by a long shot. I'm just the only one dumb enough to be on Twitter. I quite like that. It's a fair response. Dunn proved the hero. Dunn proved the hero that the TF2 community had been long crying out for in 2021 by fixing a major community servers issue. At the time, Dunn played up to the community joke about Valve's maintenance of the game. I'm just the janitor, to be honest. I like it. He sounds like the type of person Valve would hire. Dunn's workload currently seems split between CS2 and Deadlock, and given he's the only chap who sticks his head over the parapet, it's likely he'll remain a focal point for the good, the bad, and the ugly. Nevertheless, it's sad that when someone from a black box like Valve is willing to engage with the public at large quickly, gives them every reason not to. You can't say Valve doesn't talk to us, and then when someone does, pile on with every problem you have and start calling them names. Well, you can, but let's see where that ends up.
It'll end up nowhere, and they'll never see anything you write again because they'll just, block it.
Yeah, they'll block you and tell you to fuck off. Well, they'll tell you to fuck off and block you.
Yeah, they can't get away with doing that.
Amidst the unpleasantness, however, Dunn maintains his good humour and doesn't seem to let any of it grind him down. Last week, he posted about using ChatGPT to identify a new matchmaking algorithm he could use in Deadlock, and is generally interested in experimenting with this software. One post he made about it contained a mathematical term that led to the inevitable. Lambda, Half-Life 3 confirmed, says breathless Pastabane. Dunn's got one word for you. Lol. I'm not even shocked. Of course it contained the term Lambda. And of course someone took it that way. Anyways, last two articles for the day. We're almost there. Voting for the 42nd annual Golden Joystick Award. I just combined two things there. That was fun. I don't like that. So, Will, I thought you and me could do our votes.
All right.
I thought this would be interesting to do. So, the first category. Well, what is the first category? Love, revenge, happiness, jealousy, camaraderie. Great stories do more than move the player from A to B. The best storytelling award. So, best storyteller award.
I don't know. I don't really play story games that much.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a game on here that I'd actually put. It'd probably be Yakuza. Best multiplayer game. Sons of the Forest, Helldivers 2, Abiotic Factor, EA Sports College Football 25, Tekken 8, The Finals. I think it's got to be Helldivers.
Probably, yeah. From what I've heard, none of the rest of those sound like good choices.
Yeah. Best visual design. Well, we did look at Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 the other week, and graphically that was stunning. And Black Myth Wukong. So it's between them two, I'd say.
Yeah. Would have to see it on my own monitor to really choose between those.
Yeah. I'm not even sure, actually. I think Black Myth Wukong does get it in that one, to be honest. Best indie game of this year. Ultras, Conscript, Animal Well, Lorelei and Laser Space, Beyond Galaxyland, Thank Goodness You're Here, Arco, and Indica. Jesus Christ, that's quite a lot. I know which one I'm voting for. Thank Goodness You're Here. It's basically just loads of Yorkshire in a fucking game. and it seems hilarious. And considering I'm from Yorkshire, it's like perfect. Best indie game: Duck Detective: The Secret Salami. I've heard that's quite funny. Tiny
My
Blade.
partner actually played that.
Did they?
Yeah, it was quite funny, but weird, but quite funny.
Oh, that's pretty good. Pretty good news. I Am Your Beast. Why does that game look interesting to me? I see shooting mechanic. Wait, what?
Oh hell yeah!
Arctic Eggs. I've been interested in this Tactical Breach Wizards for a bit.
Oh yeah, we've talked about that a few times,
We
haven't we?
have. So,
I may have run out of spells, but I haven't run out of shells.
yeah. So, we thinking Duck Detective?
Yeah, I would. I just because that's really the only one I've seen. That was
Yeah.
quite funny.
PC and console still playing. Apex Legends, Roblox, Minecraft, GTA Online, Valorant, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, Counter-Strike 2, Fortnite, EA Football's Sport Football Club, Dirt 2, America Blade Point, and Warframe.
Not up for most of those.
See,
To be honest.
for me, it's definitely Warframe because
Yeah.
I play it on a yearly basis. Like, I'll have just a complete spree of it. When was the last time I was on? Last time I played September
That's right.
6th. So literally a month ago was the last time I loaded. So yeah, I think Warframe for me it is. Oh, that's number 1. Minecraft number 2. It's gotta be because Minecraft is fucking legendary.
It's Minecraft. At some point or another, you go back to it.
Yeah, and I have no idea what to put for the third. Will, what game would you most likely play in this?
I used to
Apex?
play Apex, but I haven't played it in many years because it just got
Yeah.
shit and full of cheaters.
You used to play
Siege, I
Tom Clancy?
played. You played a good bit of Siege, but haven't played that in years either.
Yeah. Just pick one of those and I'll put it in for the third.
Uh, mm, Siege, I guess.
Okay. Acceptable. Cool. Submit answers. That's fine. Mobile games. We don't play them. Or we
Not in a
try not
long
to.
time, anyway.
Oh, my partner's decided apparently to put a vote in on this. Okay. There we go. I got my answer. Do I need to pick 3 for this? Yep, I do.
You can pick 3.
It's fine. I've got an idea. It's fine. I've got an idea. Oh yeah, I played those 2 years ago. Studio of the Year. This one will be interesting.
See, my issue with picking this one is I gotta remember. You gotta remember a lot of names.
I don't think we've got to remember that name. Best game expansion. Didn't play. Fuck you. Fuck you. I've heard that were pretty good. I've heard that was supposed to be quite good. I've heard that were quite good. So, well, that leaves 3. You know what? I know it's going to be the most voted, so I'm just going to go for it. Best audio design. What was the best audio design I played in a
Any
game?
game that can do vertical audio gets that title, which is none of them.
Of course.
Am I wrong though?
True. Best soundtrack. Haunty, Astrobot, Highland Song, Final Fantasy, Silent Hill 2. Why are so many of these games just shit that you wouldn't expect? I'm just going to vote for the indie game in this one. Best lead performer. Well, definitely not. I'm sorry. Alright, I'm going with that. Best support performer. Right. I am sorry, but no.
Are you? Are you, Roy?
No,
Are you
because
sorry?
it's Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, so that can go fuck itself. Matt Berry. Yeah, I think I'll vote for that. That man is funny. PC Game of the Year, Will.
um,
Oh. I could have swore we had a lot more releases than this.
ah,
I mean, Satisfactory is definitely good. So
they
I think
did get their update, and they've been getting a lot of.
yeah. I think I'll put Satisfactory on that one. Console Game of the Year. What?
Console? What's that? Never heard of it.
Okay. Best Early Access Game. Palworld, Manlords, Deep Rock Galactica, Hades 2, Lethal Company, and Enshrouded.
Can we stop getting
Ooh.
early access games and just get full release games?
Yeah, it'd be great. Best gaming hardware. I don't fucking know. Unless you're gonna give me. Okay, you gave me the Steam Deck. Cool.
That was
Best game
short-lived.
trailer.
I don't think I've really watched many game trailers at all.
Most wanted game. Uh, I don't think. Oh, Mafia: The Old Country. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Mafia: The Old Country, Atomfall, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Oh look, I've already maxed out because those are the three I'm most excited for. Actually, no, Atomfall's not really on that. I'm interested about Light of Fire. There we go. I'll leave that open so I can fill that out in a bit. But yeah, we've submitted it. We'll submit our votes. Problem solved there. So, Stalker 2 developers and the hard times they've faced to end it off for the day. This is going to make me sad. Subconsciously, we were all ready to die. Stalker 2 developers secretly prepared for Russia's invasion. A new documentary sheds light on Stalker's development at war.
This sounds like a delightful topic.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be the easiest, I'm sure. There aren't many games with a story like Stalker 2's, whose development at Ukrainian studio GSC Game World was interrupted by Russia's invasion of the country on February 24th, 2022. Kiev was bombed, devs and their families were evacuated, while others enlisted in the Ukrainian military, and the studio as a whole had to effectively be rebuilt from the ground up in Prague. Subconsciously, we were all ready to die, says GSC dev named Elena in a new documentary called War Game, put out to mark the game's tumultuous path to release on November 20th this year. In a section detailing devs' experiences of the day Russian troops rolled over the Ukraine's border, we see shots of Ukrainians flooding into basements as missiles rained down from overhead. I remember the alarm we heard in Kiev, recalls another dev. It was quite a scary feeling. The creepiest thing was knowing that your life would depend on this sound. But the doc also details the myriad of ways in which the invasion impacted GSC even before it happened. As early as December 2021, certain company execs were thinking about plans for evacuation, mapping out routes into the west of the country and out of Kiev in the event Russia actually followed through on its apparent ambition to conquer Ukraine. It's weird because we didn't hear anything really about it until it happened. I thought that Putin wouldn't want to start a war with NATO, says GSC's Maria, which meant there shouldn't be missiles landing within 50 kilometers of NATO border. Secretly, so as not to panic staff, and this person and other high-ranking GSC staff began formulating plans to move everyone to another area, right on the Ukrainian-Slovakian border, in the event war broke out. We booked buses back in January that were parked outside the offices 24/7. Initially, we didn't tell the team about these buses because we didn't want to scare people. The studio eventually made use of those buses on February 20th, just days before the invasion began, moving over 180 developers through though over 100 refused to leave Kiev regardless of the risk of war, westwards. 4 days later, Russian troops rolled in, kicking off a long process of rebuilding for GSC in Prague, also detailed in the doc. We had to rearrange everything from scratch, including recasting actors who had gone to fight fight the invasion. The game for us is now an element of resistance. That must be fucking insane to think about. And the fact that, if I just pull it up, they're selling it for a decent price, to be honest with you. Their default price, anyways. I can deal with that. £50 for the default edition. I can cope with that. I don't understand this whole
the
ultimate
first Stalker do really well.
Mate, all the Stalker games have done pretty well. I'm a massive fan of the
They're
Stalker
definitely a name
franchises.
that I know of, that I've heard a lot.
Oh, I adore them. There's 3 games in the series, and you can get a mod called Stalker Anomaly, and it combines all 3 games, including their maps, and just makes it a big like survival game. It's phenomenal. But there's a reason
cool.
this game sits at 94%. And the worst part about Anomaly is, though, and even the developers know this, you actually can download Anomaly, and basically if someone just sent you across some files, you could play Stalker Anomaly without paying a penny. The devs know this, but they trust that people will pay for a game that only costs them like £10. Oh, sorry, £5.24 for all 3 games currently.
Jesus.
So, you know. But they've got their age, but if you install Stalker Anomaly, which is, it's a couple gig, but they give you step by step, it turns the graphics of the game to like pretty much modern day. The mechanics work really well, and just overall, it's an intense experience, but bloody hell is it worth it. Going through, learning the mechanics, fucking just looting your first couple of corpses after you've killed someone. It's like, yes, I finally managed to do it. But it's so bloody intense. I love Stalker. It's something I will always have a deep attachment to. So when I heard the second one was coming out, I'm excited. I just hope they continue with that sort of premise. Because I can assure you, the player base will definitely do what the player base does. And they will just modify the hell out of it. But yeah. I think that's everything for this week, unless you've got anything you'd like to talk about, Will.
Nothing that comes to mind.
I didn't think as much. That is the usual.
Sometimes I have something.
Yeah, sometimes. That's true. That is very, very true. But yeah, we are pretty much all done now, which is pretty impressive. So we will end this episode right there. I can't think of anything else. So yeah, with all that said and done then, thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed, feel free to like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Remember, there is Discord in the description. Anyone is welcome to join it. We would appreciate any feedback on the episode as well, as we always do. And we will see you all next time. Bye for now, guys.
See you again, guys. Have a good one.